you want to be in the video? Such cute. Ember just had to be a part of this video. So here we go. Before we jump right in, I do want to let you guys know that I have a free download for you guys, and it's 6 secrets for having amazing wedding details photos. You can find the link to that down in the description. So the first thing I want to share with you guys when it comes to photographing wedding invitations is to make sure you're using something to make the different pieces of the invitation pop off the background. So what I mean by this is by putting something underneath each piece to kind of make it add more dimension and to make it pop off the background and not look super flat. I usually use lens caps or clear acrylic blocks, or sometimes even spare candle lids if you happen to bring those to weddings. You can use that to make the different pieces of the invitation pop. So right here, I'm gonna put a photo of where I didn't use anything to make the invitation pop, and it looks really flat. It doesn't really have a lot of dimension. And then right here is where I actually grabbed some spare lens caps I had laying around to make the different pieces of the invitation pop. See how it just adds so much more dimension and the overall photo just doesn't look as flat? It's super awesome, and I highly recommend making sure you do that at your weddings. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is having your bride mail you a copy of the invitation before the wedding day. This is something that I started doing a couple years ago and has been a game changer for me. Something I hear a lot of photographers say a lot is when they actually get to the wedding day, sometimes they don't even have the invitation, and it can be really difficult to even get those photos. So something that I do is have my bride mail me a copy. I do this for 2 reasons. One, just to double check and make sure I have all the locations right, times right, day right, everything like that, just another precaution. But also so I can bring that copy of the invitation along with me on the wedding day, so I have it just in case she forgets to throw it in with her details. I've already got her covered. Okay, so I gotta go feed my dog, so be right back. Do you want your food? Mommy put your food out. Yeah. Okay, you can go eat your food. Go on. Go on. Eat your food. All right, so now let's chat a little bit about once you actually get to the wedding and you start styling the invitation, kind of how all of that goes, because that can be really overwhelming. So when I have an invitation suite in front of me, the first thing that I'm thinking about is how I want the final composition of the photo to be. Do I want it to be horizontal? Do I want it to be diagonal? Maybe vertical? You can really change up the way that you do this and get really creative and just have a lot of fun with it. But knowing how you want your final photo to be with composition is really going to help you when it comes to laying everything out and kind of the direction that you're going. Now that you know what you want the overall composition to be, now you can take the main focal point of the invitation and use that to style around it. So by the focal point, I mean the main piece of the invitation. This typically has the wedding date on it, the couple's names on it, it has the most like design elements on it. So you kind of want to use that as the main point of your invitation photo and then style everything else around from there. This also kind of helps with the overwhelm because you have one piece that you're starting with and then kind of taking all the other pieces like the RSVP card, the information card, any like styling blooms or other styling elements that you have, and you can just kind of style everything else around that one piece. So it's really nice to have that to start with and then style everything else around that and using that as like the center of your photo. Oh baby, did you finish your food? You're a good girl, Emmy. Mwah, thank you. The final thing I want you guys to think about when it comes to photographing wedding invitations is thinking about how the photo has balance. It can be really easy to get really overwhelmed really easily because there's so many pieces that go into an invitation and what you could add to it. But thinking about how you can add balance to the photo is really going to help. So once you have all of those pieces of the invitation set up, think about the different styling elements that you're adding. For example, if you add some florals in the top right corner, you're gonna wanna add either some more florals or maybe the ring box or some jewelry or something like that in the bottom left corner to kind of balance out what you've already put up in the right corner. This will help you avoid making it too cluttery and like there's too much going on everywhere. Another concept I like to think about when I'm making my photo balanced is thinking about where empty spaces are and how I can fill in those empty spaces. So for example, if there just seems like there's a big empty white space on the photo, you kind of want to fill that in with something. With this said, you don't want each side of the photo to be identical. You don't want to put the same amount of things in the same empty spaces. You want to have some empty space, but empty space in the right places and in the opposite sides of the photo to help balance it out. Okay guys, so if you have absolutely been loving these videos on shooting wedding details, take take a screenshot and share it on Instagram stories and tag me in it at Stephanie Lynn Kase. I would absolutely love to reshare it and just to see you learning from all of these videos and all of this content I'm putting out for you guys. And if you haven't already, be sure to grab that free download below to give you even more tips on how to photograph wedding details. Bye! Aw, good girl. Yeah, Emmy!
Your job is just to be cute.
Yeah, you're really good at that. Ah! Dang, girl. You got some crazy apples. Now that you know what you want... Oh my gosh, I can't stop.
That was so cute, girl.